better not have no plans tonight.
Movie time and it's feeling right.
You're looking for a love that lasts. You'll find it at Romance in the Podcast. Ooh, ooh, baby, you had me at hello. Ooh, I love you.
I know.
Ooh, ooh, baby, you're the wind beneath my wings. Ooh, ah, I'll have what she's having.
Thank you for tuning into Romancing the Pod. You had us at hello. I'm Paige.
And I'm Todd, and this week we made you watch
When Harry Met Sally.
So, Paige, shocking admission, possibly, this may be the first time I've seen this movie not on TV.
I discovered the same myself today as well.
Okay.
And I did not think that originally. I thought for sure I had seen this in its entirety. I had not. So it was kind of like watching it for the first time.
Yeah, I agree a little bit. And I'll admit that it's been probably 20 years since I've seen it the first time. You know, it's been a while.
Sure.
But yeah, I kind of liked it this time. What were your thoughts?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I had a great time today. I feel like this movie does a great job of representing both people who communicate well and have a good communicative and respectful relationship, and then also what happens when that breaks down.
Yeah.
And how to essentially work to fix it. And it's a great movie of adults having adult conversations and developing relationships where they truly care about each other. And it's just not done in what most people would think is air quotes the traditional way. But ultimately, I find this movie intensely romantic because it is two people who get to know each other on a level that, like, it takes many people years to do before they even start a romance.
Yeah, we often complain about movies that, like, they don't have a reason for them to be together, so they're just not together until, like, a certain thing happens. Like, this movie gives them a reason to be together, but also not be, like, physical with their love for each other, let's just say it that way, because we do see them fall in love over the course of this movie. Like, I think that there are moments where the camera is trying to show you, hey, this is a moment for that person, you know? And, like, I really love that. I love that we spend a lot of time together. It doesn't really bother me that their first kiss is, like, very lackluster at, like, the first New Year's Eve party we get, because, you know, that's not their real first kiss. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're setting up something later that's going to be much, much bigger than that. So, like, I kind of love it.
Yeah.
It really gives them a lot of time together on screen, just being Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan when they were at their best. Like, it's great.
Well, and the chemistry is amazing. And you are absolutely right. The camera and the direction and the performance as well.
Yes, obviously.
Absolutely show you on screen, like, no, he really likes her.
Yeah.
Or, hey, no, she really likes him. You can see it in their eyes that, like, even though they're saying, like, oh, no, that's fine, it's not.
When they're playing Pictionary at the party and they are looking at them kissing the date that they brought, like, you see them seeing that, and it's clear it makes both of them sad, because at that point they've been spending months together, like, getting over their respective breakups together, and have not really been physical, but have fallen in love.
Right.
Which is totally possible, you know, like,
yes,
I love it.
And I love that his arc is men and women can't be friends, all the way to the other side of, we slept together and now I'm weird about it because I don't want to lose my best friend.
Right.
Literally, like, the full arc, until then going one step further and being like, I don't want to be with anybody else. You are my best friend. Like, it is no one but you.
Oh, I tear up every time at the end when he's saying I love you and she's saying I hate you. And it's like, when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you can't wait to start the rest of your life. Like, I love that line. It's so amazing.
That's one of the best movie speeches of all time.
Love it.
It's so good.
I've been doing a lot of thinking. I think I love you. Like, it's so great. Just throws it out there and she's just like, I hate you. I hate you about it. But it's also clear she's not, like, feeling I hate you.
No.
But I do understand what she's feeling, because she has been very hurt by him very recently. And, like, he has a lot to atone and apologize for. And it does seem like he spent the better part of a month apologizing via voicemail to her.
Yes.
In
Yes.
increasingly inventive ways. So I think that she understands that he is sorry for what he has done in that moment, you know? So it like helps that moment really land for me, you know?
This movie makes me nostalgic for answering machines. And I know we have voicemail, but it's not the same.
It's not the same, no.
No. My parents used to stay up late and like write sketches for their like outgoing answering machine message.
That is amazing.
This used to be a proper country.
This movie does seem like it's 80% just Harry trying to sleep with a woman that for various reasons doesn't want to sleep with him, and then him just charmingly continuing the conversation until she changes her mind. Because it is very charming.
It is very charming. This movie threads a needle that a lot of movies that are trying to be like this movie fail to thread. And I think in part because this movie was written by people in relationships like this, where Nora Ephron wrote this and famously has written some of our best rom-coms of the generation. And then Rob Reiner directed it and then met his, unfortunately now that he and his wife have both passed, but they met while he was making this movie.
Yeah.
And he changed the ending for her because she was basically his Sally. Like, that's why this is so good. So many movies try to do what this movie does and just have people talk about nothing. And that's not what this movie is doing. This movie is them having organic conversations that reveal parts of who they are as people. And also it's them doing bits. Like, I feel like very few rom-coms capture the highest level of romance, which is doing bits. And this movie absolutely does.
If you are with somebody that like in public will drop into a bit and just yes and you,
Yes.
you wife that person up immediately. Because that is your person. And I didn't like specify what that bit is because it'll be different for everybody. And you got to find someone that's into your kind of bit. You know what I'm saying? And then just ride it out.
And you need to find somebody that you can have new bits with over time, right?
Yes.
I'll spoil a bit that Jake and I have right now because by the time this comes out, it'll be New Year's and my sister will have opened her Christmas present. I found for my sister a vintage Cupid doll. This might not mean much to many of you, but my sister collects Cupid merchandise, memorabilia, and like old Cupid stuff. And I found one when we were in Texas and I was like, I'm buying this because I'm never going to find one of these again. However, that doll absolutely has eyes that follow you out of the room. Like, it is the scariest doll. There's something about it that's just a little off. And Jake and I's like ongoing bit, because I literally like brought it to the register and he didn't like the way the doll was looking at him.
I get it.
So then, yeah, when I came up north, I was like, oh my God, did I forget the doll? And he's like, yes, he said it wants to go home. It wants to go home to the hole. And we've just like made up a fake evil demonic story about the doll to the point where like last night I was wrapping it and I caught it at like a weird angle. So it looked like it was looking over its shoulder at me. And I just like took a video where I zoomed in on it slowly and sent it to Jake at like 2 a.m. Like, it's just, and the bit's going to end because the doll's going to go away. But we've had fun for the last 2 weeks or whatever.
Paige, if this was the first 10 pages of a horror movie script, we would then be taken on a 90-minute ride where that doll not only killed you and your family, but also explained to us, the audience, what a tulpa is.
Right. Exactly.
Because that's what you created. Be careful with that doll.
Look, I may or may not have texted my husband directions for feeding it grave dirt under the full moon. We don't know.
Paige,
We don't know.
you are playing with forces you do not understand.
But all I'm saying is that like all it took was for my husband to be like, that thing's creepy. And then it spiraled
Yes.
into a yes and that now has steps.
That's what I mean. Yes, 100%. That is a great example of what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, Natalie and I will yes and each other while we're like making up songs about our animals. Like, that's
Right.
something we do all the time.
All the time.
Find someone that'll yes and your bit like Meg Ryan does or Billy Crystal does for the other in this movie.
Yes.
That's the sweet spot. Also a sweet spot, the interstitials in this movie do like a beautiful
love
job
those.
of showing like the best gift you can give someone that you love is a story to tell.
Yes.
And maybe it's not like how you get someone to love you, but it's definitely in like the love potion recipe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like all of those stories are so sweet and like they light up when they're telling them. It's almost like they're not actors doing it, although I'm sure it was actors doing it. That's just because they're great actors.
Yeah, it was. It was actors doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, I bet they're based on real stories and stuff.
Yes.
Because, and they might be like just his aunts and uncles or, you know, whatever.
Right.
They sound like real stories in so much as that they are almost insignificant outside of the context of this is where you met your spouse that you've been with forever.
Yes.
And it's the fact that they met that make the moment monumentous or whatever. And I love that about them. Like, it's like normally in a movie, if you're making it up, you'd be like, you'd get the ending of this movie as a story, or you'd get the ending of Sleepless in Seattle as a story, you know? But these are like not mundane in like the sense of boring, but like everyday things where you meet someone who becomes your spouse seems so big and like amazing because of that moment. And I love that. I love that it captures that.
But I feel like that's the thesis statement of this movie. And I love it because this movie is the mundane, but in a way that makes you feel like even the mundane is significant because it is we're building their story, right?
Yeah.
Because essentially we follow their relationship as enemies to friends, to lovers, to enemies again, to back to lovers over 12 years and 3 months. And half of those interactions are just normal interactions people have. Even the end of this movie, that's like the air quotes grand gesture, if you want to think of it that way, is not grand. It's him attending a party he was invited to.
Yeah.
But it's him just saying all of that to her of like, there's this Instagram account where a guy interviews people about love and relationships or whatever. And one of them, a girl just says, I remember is more romantic than I love you. And I feel like the last scene of this movie is absolutely that.
Yeah.
The point being known by someone is more romantic than someone just claiming that they love you. The proof of them loving you is them knowing you fully, remembering things about you, accepting, you know, that you take forever to order a salad and you have a wagon wheel for a coffee table, all of those things, and still wanting to be your teammate at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so for him to come back and basically list all these things of like, I want all your annoying parts and your great parts because I want you.
Yeah.
And like, who knows you like I do, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's great.
Although I got to be honest with you, I probably would not take dating advice, like if I was Meg Ryan, from a lady who famously kissed her brother. I'd be like, ma'am, didn't you spite kiss Luke in The Empire Strikes Back? Don't give me dating advice. Calm down.
But I love their relationship too. The relationship they end up in. I love their friendships with each other.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Luke and Leia. I was like,
The
Paige,
best.
it really was just to get back at Han Solo.
Oh God, when they went to that House of Wax, so good. No,
That's a different podcast, Paige.
Carrie Fisher and her love interest in the movie.
The guy's name is Jess. I realize that sounds weird
Jess.
today, but that was his name in the movie. Yeah.
Love their relationship. I also love their friendships with our respective main characters.
Me too.
I have one beef of one piece of advice that gets given in this movie that I disagree with. And that's when everyone tells Billy Crystal he looks better without a beard. That's a full lie. That man should have a beard forever. It looks great on him.
I think Billy got to do what Billy got to do, and I ain't gonna give him notes. But I am gonna give this note. I love that in this movie, it may be the earliest time that they've tried to make Billy Crystal look young by just putting a floppy black wig on his head. And like, that is a thing that SNL does to this day. Like, it's just him.
You mean in like the earlier scenes?
Yeah.
Yes.
He looks exactly the same, except he's got like a floppy black wig on. Like, it's the same. And they do the same thing to him now when he's like on SNL occasionally or whatever. They're like, put a flop. It's the exact same look. He just looks older now. It's very funny to me. It's like Private Parts where Howard Stern at like 40 is playing himself in college. And you were like, man, that's actually the less noticeable thing than his acting.
Right.
Oh, man. But everyone talks about Meg Ryan's moaning scene in this movie because it's kind of iconic or whatever.
Great job.
But like, I kind of think and maybe this is unfair, but I think that Billy Crystal's moaning scene is way more believable. When he's talking about being sick on the phone, he's like, I'm just going to spend all night moaning in pain or whatever. And then he moans in pain at her, and it's believable. I believed it.
Yes, it is believable.
Yeah.
What's your favorite moment in this movie of them saying nothing but with their performance saying everything?
Oh, shit. I mean, I think my favorite one is them seeing each other kiss the date that they brought and how that hurts them. Because I really like that they do, with just the camera, show that they are like in love at that point already. Like seeing them kiss somebody else is painful for that person, you know? And it's just like, God, just talk about it. You're talking about everything else.
Yeah.
Just talk about it. One of you guys needs to be like vulnerable for a second or whatever. But neither of them do really until the Joe phone call scene, you know, where they end up hooking up.
Right. Which is a whole thing that we will talk about when we get there.
We will. I have thoughts.
I have thoughts too. For me, it's New Year's Eve, the first New Year's Eve, where they're dancing and it's very much like, hey, it's fun. We had somebody because we were friends.
Yeah.
We're friends on New Year's Eve. And if we don't have dates next year, we'll do New Year's Eve together next year. And then they dance and they're like cheek to cheek. And you watch as they both are like, I love being cheek to cheek with this person.
Yeah. There's some heat.
There's some heat. You also watch them both be like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Immediately after. And it's so well done, both in the camera work, how they choose to represent it, but also in their performances as well.
It is really great. I really enjoy it.
Yes.
One more note, and then we got to get into it.
Yes.
Since when have you not been able to pluck a first date's hair to use as floss? Like, when did that become a rule you couldn't do?
Todd.
Sorry, I thought that was a nuts thing to hear.
Todd, I have watched someone do this.
What? I am sorry. Their own hair or someone else's hair?
They plucked their own, which is a difference. Someone else's hair makes it somehow even more bonkers. So when I was in a sorority, we did the first round of like, I pledged, but then the next year other people pledge and you're on the other side of it.
Doing the hazing and yeah.
No hazing, there was none, but we do like a speed dating kind of vibe.
Right.
So this girl during like the speed dating where we're choosing like who's gonna come in or whatever, she plucked one of her own hairs and then started flossing her teeth with it mid-conversation, and she was talking.
How do you floss and talk?
I don't know.
Wait. Are you talking about the flossing that's the dance? Because that's not the kind of flossing I was talking about.
No. That was not around when I was in college because old.
She put her hands in God's mouth while talking. Like, I can't believe, like,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's an insane thing to do in public.
It's insane, and it is why we did not pick her to join the sorority.
I do, however, think that was the wrong call. Someone who has that little, like, boundary between what they do in private and what they do in public in front of new people is your wild card, and you need that person around for, honestly, comical relief.
Because, like, that process, the kind of speed dating-y process, is really just to be like, can I hang out with this person?
Of course.
Is this somebody I might be friends with, right?
Yeah.
And we all, as we saw it happen, because we're like three of us, were like, no, what a crazy thing to do in the middle of any conversation. Like, regardless of where you are, that's such a crazy thing to do.
Can't imagine flossing. Hard stop. Water pick for life, baby.
Crazy.
I didn't even know you could floss your teeth with your hair.
I've never tried it.
And listen, I'll blame who I should blame, my dentist, because that's on him. Maybe I'm going to the like one that is the reason it's only 9 out of 10 doctors recommend. Maybe I'm going to the wrong guy.
Right. And the other 9 are like, you really got to get your hair in your mouth, like horror movie style, if you want to prevent gingivitis.
I kind of think I dodged a bullet. I don't know. I feel like I'll just use real floss.
Yeah. Or the little picky things.
Yeah. I think that's a better way to do it. I don't think my hair would hold up under that kind of scrutiny.
I have great hair and I don't think so either.
Yeah, right? It had to be multiple strands. I don't even want to get into it. Because now I'm just thinking about, are we braiding the hairs together so it's strong enough to floss with?
It was one single strand and she like pulled it at the root.
Was her hair as thick as like the early hair plugs were that looked just like doll hair sticking out of people's heads?
It has to be like a nervous tick.
Yeah.
It had to have been like unconscious or something because I was just like, what?
Well, listeners, I gotta know if you floss with your hair So if you do, please leave us a Spotify comment. Own up to it. Tell me how it started because I gotta know.
Yes.
But Paige, maybe we should let them know how this movie progresses scene by scene.
Sure, we open on credits that are just white letters on black screen because this is from the early 90s.
It's late 80s. It's 89. I only
Late
know that
80s.
because I looked up box office information. Yeah.
89.
The one thing that stood out to me is it was in 89 and Harry Connick worked on the score. He played piano on this.
Yes.
He wasn't the only person. He worked with somebody else. I can't remember the name from the credits. Harry Connick Jr. was 21 when this movie came out.
Yep.
It's nuts to me that he was already that famous, that young, but that dude's amazing.
He was not that famous. Rob Reiner saw him performing randomly and essentially flew him out. We'll talk about it a little bit in fun facts, but this is his first big gig.
I think Harry Connick Jr. started as a child, but I don't know about acting though. But I know he recorded an album when he was 10.
He did.
Yeah, but I don't know how big it was.
It was not.
I truly have no idea how big it was.
The only reason I know is because this week Harry Connick Jr. has talked about how had it not been for this movie, he wouldn't be famous, essentially.
I mean, he does have a very good career both in acting and in singing and songwriting and jazz a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, he's great.
Yeah.
But I've seen him perform. He's also really funny and a great storyteller. So a lot of his shows are 2 hours long and he sings 90 minutes of it. And you're just laughing and loving the stories half the time. It's great.
Yeah. Well, and again, great actor as well, because he's been in at least one movie on this podcast. I don't remember which one. Anyway, we open on an old couple basically talking about their meet cute.
Yeah.
And we will get interstitials of this throughout the movie, meant to feel like a documentary, but these are actors. We then cut to the University of Chicago in 1977, where Billy Crystal and his girlfriend at the time are making out. Harry and his girlfriend at the time are making out.
Right.
And Meg Ryan, Sally, drives up because she's going to be driving him home from college or to New York, because she's going to New York. He's going to New York. I got the impression this was at the end of college.
Same. And they're moving to New York. They're starting their internships or jobs or whatever.
Right.
Paige, this scene, I had to watch 2 or 3 times and I left the scene very confused by what I watched. And I'll explain why, because you look confused.
Okay.
Here is the order of events that take place in the scene. Billy Crystal and Amanda, his girlfriend, whose name I remember because even though she's in 20 seconds of this movie, I watched it a bunch because I did not understand what happened.
Yeah.
But Billy Crystal and his girlfriend at the time, Amanda, are making out. Sally drives up and stops and says, "Oh, hey, Amanda." And Amanda, Billy Crystal's girlfriend,
Right.
says, "Oh, hey, Harry, this is Sally."
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "Oh, great." And then Billy Crystal gets in Sally's car and drives to New York City. Why does Amanda introduce Sally to Harry when they clearly have prearranged this trip to New York? I was so confused by it.
Oh.
They have to have already met.
No, they don't.
What is happening? They have to have already met. How does he get this is the problem, Paige. This is why my brain is broken right now. How did Billy Crystal know to get in Sally's car to drive to New York? There is some pre-existing arrangement that we are not aware of.
There is, but Amanda made it because this is part of Billy Crystal's shittiness at this point, because he's not a great guy when we first meet him.
No, he's
the movie
terrible.
really does have to win you over.
Yeah.
But clearly Amanda, his girlfriend, has made the arrangements and they are there to meet Sally. So they know she's coming. Harry's never met her. Amanda set it all up because she's doing the emotional labor for a man in her life that can't be bothered to really do much for himself. But this is a thing that used to happen when I was in college many years later, because I went to college in Southern California.
Yeah, just a few years after this.
20 years after this.
It was probably 30 years after this. This takes
Probably.
place in 77, Paige. Yeah.
Yeah, 30 years after what is happening in this movie. But a lot of people came from Northern California to go to college in Southern California. So if you did not have a car, there was often hey, who knows who's driving up to the Bay? And people would just kind of arrange, and it would be like, this time, this day, meet these people. My friend knows these people or whatever. I was always one of the people with a car. So I usually had like, hey, can my friend hop in your whatever? But sometimes they'd be people I did not know who were like so-and-so's friend because we were all going up to the bay. So that did not faze me at all.
That actually makes sense, but I didn't travel far to the college I went, so this did not happen for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, I would not let, if I was Meg Ryan, some strange dude in my car while I drive to New York that I've never met. So like, I didn't understand why they were meeting each other for the first time in this moment. It was crazy to me, but that does make sense. And 18 hours is a long time, Paige. You're right.
That's a long one. That's a long ride.
Well, and their plan is to like, well, I'll sleep. You can take the first shift. Like they're not planning on talking the entire drive.
Right.
But, eventually Billy Crystal gets, I don't know, out of the same zip code his girlfriend Amanda is in.
Yeah.
And so Sally becomes like a viable sexual partner in his mind.
Yeah.
Because he, like Chris Bridges, is trying to set up, women with different area codes or whatever.
Ho, ho, ho's in different area codes. Merry Christmas. I think this movie does a great job of his arc of making him the worst so you can understand why she does not like him at first, to how he becomes her closest friend. Like, I get it. I believe it the whole time. But in this part of it, he's awful.
Yeah. I think that we should probably talk about it as we're getting there, but like they do leave, the college and they drive and then they stop to get dinner, right? And they have like this conversation in this like little diner, right? Which the movie is more or less this. It's just like them in random situations having a charming conversation and us learning more about them as people or whatever.
Right.
And what we're learning about Harry is that he is very much the only non-playable character in his eyes. And he finds Sally attractive. And Sally is positioned as a little picky or like maybe neurotic or whatever.
Yeah.
But like just kind of a normal, well-adjusted person, it kind of seems like.
Sure.
Sure. I honestly think she kind of likes him. But she doesn't want to have sex with her friend's boyfriend.
Yeah, obviously.
So that's a no from me. But I do think I don't think she would have had sex with him that night. But I do think maybe in a week or two after they started dating when they both had moved to New York, that would have happened,
Yeah.
Had he not been with Amanda, obviously. I don't think that's in the cards because he's with her friend.
I feel like a few things are going on here. One, I think he kind of figured he and Amanda were done the second he moved to New York because he ain't coming back to Chicago. Like, this is like the people who go away to college. I don't think he has let Amanda know that, but I think in his mind that's going on.
I think only the ghost let Amanda know that. And by that, I mean him just never talking to her again.
Never talking to her again.
That seems like the kind of guy he is at this moment. I don't think that's where he ends the movie, but that is who he is right now.
Yes. I think Meg Ryan she's moving to New York to be a journalist, but I think she is somewhat naive in that she has not really, and she even admits she hasn't really been exposed to the world much yet. Life has kind of always gone her way, but she is kind of breaking out on her own. And I think there is something unique about him in the sense that he kind of challenges her in a way. And for as much as she claims to not like him and hate him and everything, they talk that whole car ride.
Yeah.
They talk the whole time. And for as frustrated as she is that she doesn't like him, there is this element of like, there is a chemistry there still, and he senses it. I believe from watching this in pieces multiple times and all the way through today, I think from the time he meets her, there's never a time when he does not like her and want her. The question is how he's going to relate and react to her in whatever scenario they are in. I think he is always into her. At least there's always a baseline level of attraction.
I think they get that out of the way in this diner scene to let him know, hey, your character, Harry, is into Sally.
Right.
Thinks she's gorgeous, likes her a lot. Maybe not even likes her a lot, but is hot enough to sleep with because they kind of just met in the diner scene.
Right.
And I don't think that that's the person he is at the end of this movie, but I do think at this point in his life, Harry or Billy Crystal is like, he's fine to have a one night stand with someone he thinks is hot. Whatever.
Yeah, of course.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just making out with Amanda.
Yeah. Amanda who?
He's not a great guy.
Amanda hug and kiss. I also love this scene sets up a callback that we have later where they have both seen Casablanca and he is very much on the side of like, love and passion trumps realism.
Right.
And she's very much on the side of like, nobody loves anybody that much. Her life would be better if she chooses the other way. And they're arguing about it. And the like, you haven't had great sex yet. Like all of this. And it all comes back later. And when they're having that conversation later, it really shows the growth that both of them have had in regards to A, how they view relationships, but also B, how they view each other in the ecosystem of it. And so this is the first place they kind of lay that down. But yeah, masterful dialogue work.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a beautiful way to show that like they both are not going to performatively lie to each other.
Yes.
Which is like a funny way to look at that. But it's like they are already at that point, even though they haven't been romantic or like physical, they're already to the point where they like love and respect each other enough that they feel comfortable enough to not lie about those little moments like that, you know? And I love that.
I do. This is why I do ultimately find their relationship intensely romantic, is that they never do that.
Yeah.
They are always the most truthful they can possibly be with each other, except for when it comes to each other.
Yes.
Which I think we'll talk about as we go.
Yeah.
He also is very much like, I'm dark and spooky and into death or whatever. And she's just like, shut the fuck up.
It's pretty much just like any college dude you've run into that has just had sex for the first time in the past year and is just now realizing he will one day die.
Right.
Like you're talking to the worst dude you could possibly run into for 18 hours.
Absolutely. Boondock Saints poster on wall. That is who this man is.
Boondock Saints poster on wall and a thesis statement on whatever, but whatever it is, it proves they did not understand the movie The Boondock Saints.
Right.
Yeah, it's great. It's just like people who like love Fight Club, and then when you hear them explain it, you're like, I don't think you understood anything they were trying to say, but that's fine. That's fine. I do also really love that they try and make Meg Ryan look kind of neurotic by the way she orders her like pie a la mode or whatever. And like, I will admit, she gives that waitress a lot of instructions to follow, and that is unfair. I truly, if someone said that to me, I would have no idea what that pie would look like when it got to the table.
Yeah.
Except I know there would be a lot of spit on it.
But
it would not. I have no idea if there would be ice cream on it, next to it, if it would be warmed. I don't know. But there would be spit on it for sure.
Yes. Okay. This is even something that they use as growth in the movie, because like, I don't know if you've noticed, and we'll talk about it again when it happens, I guess, but like, the first time they go to dinner after they sleep together, they just order salads and there's no extra directions.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, like he has rubbed off on her in ways that she has rubbed off on him. They both rubbed off on each other, and now they're just ordering salads. And like, This is one of those things where I do think in some ways, now, again, if you have like a legit food allergy or something, like, please complicate your order and don't die. But like, all of these are preferences, and it is this kind of misunderstanding of the way the rest of the world works.
I think her only mistake here is not thinking it through and giving the person one direct order, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because she's kind of all over the place with it. I don't think there's any problem with her ordering it the way she likes it and then like rolling the dice. Like if she comes back and she's like, oh, hey, I can't do it this way or whatever, then you say, oh, well, can we do it this way? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
She's giving her 90 directions, and half of them, if not more, are like, well, if you don't have it this way, do it this way. But if you don't have it this way, do it this way. And that is an unrealistic expectation to put on anybody, if that makes sense.
No server is drawing a flow chart of how you want your food.
Just let them go see if they can do it the way you asked, and if not, then you give them the alts. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I don't think she's wrong to ask for what she wants. She should. She is like an adult who can eat whatever she wants to eat the way she wants to eat it, and good for her.
Anyway, we do get the conversation about why she and her boyfriend Sheldon broke up, and it's the days of the week panties, and how they don't make Sunday because of God, which I do find hilarious.
I thought it was hilarious that those panties, like as a company, had the same moral set as Chick-fil-A.
Right?
You're like, no, we will not serve you on the Lord's Day. You will go crotchless, which I didn't realize must be in the Chick-fil-A employee handbook. And that's the reason they can't come into work, because it's not hygienic. So you can't come into the office because we don't have any underwear for you to wear.
It's under a heading that's written in cow speak that just says "Eat more pussy." No. Just a cow with a sign.
Yeah. I have a Chick-fil-A billboard close to my house and some black spray paint, guys. I'll be right back.
Oh, yes. Oh, man. I don't choose to eat there for many reasons that I shouldn't have to explain. It's been a long time that they've been openly dicks to people.
Tomorrow on the news, you're going to read a headline that says, "Local idiot dies when falling after a fall with the animatronic cow on billboard." How did they know he was fighting it?
Local man accuses cows of cunnilingus. Anyway, back to the movie. She's calculating their dinner and like who owes what.
Yeah.
And he's just watching her. And this is one of those like parts with no dialogue or whatever. And you can see he's already falling for her. Even though this has been an exasperating dinner, he's like, no, but I like her though. And this is where he says, "You're a very attractive person."
I think it's exasperating for her.
Yes.
I think he's enjoying the conversation, you know?
Right.
Some people really enjoy people who will go like tit for tat with them like that.
Right.
And it's not like an argument, but it like has the cadence of an argument. Like,
right.
It's not for me, but like I know people who are like that. And it sounds like they're mad at you and they're not mad at you. They're just like talking passionately. But she may not be the kind of person that's comfortable with that because she does not seem to be having a great time at this meal.
I think it depends for me on the topic and cadence of whether or not we're going to do that. If we both know we're joking and having a good time,
yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
If it's real arguments, I fucking hate that shit. I hate it.
Same. Yeah. It's not first date conversation. Not even that this is a first date. This is like a first carpool stop meal like conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
But and she's like, "You're coming on to me." He's like, "I am admitting that you're attractive. I'm just putting it out there. Do you want to go to a motel and spend the night together?" Which like,
yeah,
your girlfriend organized this. Like, what? No, like we can be friends. And he's like, "We can't be friends because I'm attracted to you." And essentially that's where we leave it. And she's like, "It's too bad that we can't be friends. You were going to be the only person I knew in New York, but hey, no. I don't like you."
She literally drops him off on like the sidewalk and then they walk in separate directions. Or I guess she gets back in her car and drives away. And they don't see each other until like years later. Years
later. Literally like, "Have a nice life, you two." And I clocked the timing for pacing on this movie, 15 minutes.
It is pretty quick. They got to get Billy Crystal out of that floppy black wig because even in 89, he doesn't look right. It's like that doesn't match up.
No, but in 15 minutes, this movie has already set up who these people are, how they kind of meet each other in opposition, and that there is chemistry there between them, even in their enemies era, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I do feel like we are getting, this is their movie. This is the Harry and Sally movie. But Harry's about to go live his Harry and Helen movie.
Right, that we don't see.
And fall in love with Helen and get married to Helen. Right, it's edited out because we are not following the Harry when Harry met Helen. We're following when Harry met Sally.
Right.
So like it cuts out. I don't think she gets married, but she does have a formative relationship with Joe, right?
We're about to get into it, yeah.
Right, and then he marries Helen. So it's like their first relationships out of college get snipped out of the movie.
Yeah.
Because it's not about that. And I kind of love that, honestly.
I do too, because it basically is like ultimately you find the right person for you at the right time to find them. They meet multiple times when it's the wrong time.
Yeah.
But when it's the right time, there they are, right?
Right.
We do get an interstitial of one of those older couples talking about how they met. It's very sweet. But then we cut to 5 years later where she is now the one making out and he sees and walks past. Now she thinks he didn't remember her. I think he did.
He definitely did.
I think he recognized her immediately.
100% he did. He recognized her first and then was like, oh, shit, I kind of know that guy too.
Right,
I could go introduce myself to that guy and then just play it up like that's his wife or girlfriend who I've never met. And I'll be so cool looking because he's still very much, maybe not very much, but he's that kind of guy in this moment.
Yes. So he says hello to her boyfriend and he like says hi to her, but not in a way that suggests that he knows her, and he leaves. And she's like, oh, thank God he couldn't place me. That was the longest night of my life. What a fucking asshole. And like, I wouldn't sleep with him because he was dating my friend. What was her name? And I guess, well, whatever. Like, fine, but I gotta go. I'm gonna get on the plane. Bye. He's sitting behind her on the plane and like reaches over and is like, hey, I remember you, now that she's separate from her boyfriend because he's still trying to get that.
Right.
And the guy next to her is like, hey, do you want to switch seats so you guys can sit together? And he's immediately like, oh, yes, thank you.
Well, that's what he says. She's like, nah, it's fine. It's very funny.
But this is where we reveal he remembers who Amanda is, but she didn't. And he's like, so you wouldn't sleep with me for a girl you don't even remember now.
Right.
Which I think is, I mean, she did the right thing. It would have been very not good for her to sleep with him back then.
I think this is one way of the movie showing he's not a great guy.
Yeah.
Because, like, it doesn't matter why she didn't want to sleep with you back then. And it certainly isn't just because of a woman she can't remember. Like, it was the vibe that you were putting off because you had just been making out with somebody else.
Right.
Like, what is wrong with you? Anyway, he's just trying to throw it in her face that she doesn't remember. It's kind of stupid.
I think it's also there is like a weird element of the movie, at least being like, it's the love of your life.
Yeah.
You just didn't know it yet, and you didn't do it because of a girl you don't remember. These are the mundane things that get in the way of being with your person, which is so funny to me.
Oh, yeah, sure. But honestly, had they gotten together before he got divorced and kind of grew through their relationship,
yes,
it would have fallen apart. It would have been terrible. Trust me.
Absolutely.
I've been Harry before. Like, it would have been bad.
Yeah, I agree. But it's on the plane that he's like, well, I'm getting married. And he's like, I'm really optimistic about it. But really what he's doing is just settling because he's tired of dating. And he says it in this moment.
Yeah.
Where he's like, you meet somebody, you go through the motions, and eventually you marry them. As opposed to you find someone that you love being with and you care about, and then you marry him. He's getting married because he thinks he should. And like, he'll be broken up about Helen later, but like, we'll kind of see as we go through, this marriage was doomed from the start because he wasn't ready to be in it, and neither was Helen. But even though it happens off screen, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, I think this movie does a good job of showing that like some guys are stupid and get married too young at like 25, 26, 27, 28. Like, they're just too young for it. I'm not saying that there is an age where they are there is an age where they're too young, but you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It is a state of mind, not an age, right?
Right.
And when I was 25 and got married, I was not old enough to get married.
Sure.
That doesn't mean that I have friends that got married younger than that and they're still together and happy. So like, it was old enough for them. That's my point. But I did exactly what he does. I was dating somebody and I was like, oh, I guess the next step is to get married.
Right.
And I grew up in a religion where like there were some rewards after marriage if you catch my drift.
Yeah, of course.
So I made a terrible decision that like was not great for me or the woman I married.
Yeah.
And she made the same decision because she chose to do that too. And like, I know she's happier now.
Sure.
And I am too. Yeah. And it wasn't like a terrible thing. We just like didn't love each other like that, you know?
Yeah.
So it didn't like blow up. It just fizzled out. And we were like, we should probably get divorced, right?
Yeah. I am a big proponent of having a chance to figure out who you are as an adult before you marry anybody. Now, granted, I'm saying that with the privilege of someone who didn't get married till they were like 32.
Yeah.
So like,
it's kind of like Meg Ryan in this movie, honestly, although when I see them get married, but you know, assuming they stay together.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, he's like, hey, do you want to go out to dinner just as friends? And she's like, you said we couldn't be friends. And he's like, no, but we're both with other people. So that kind of like takes the problem out of it. He's like, unless somebody's still really into the other person, even though they are with other people, then that creates problems. You're right. We shouldn't do it.
Yeah. I think this is him very much asking her if she wants to hook up tonight.
Yeah.
While they're out of town with each other.
Yep.
And she sees it that way and responds accordingly.
Yep. And I do love the way that they place the interstitials of the older couples talking. The one they place here is a guy, he's like, so I married so-and-so and then got divorced and then married another lady, got divorced. But then I met you and we've been together for 35 years or whatever, which statistically never happens. But like the likelihood of a marriage to last goes down with each divorce.
I don't know. I haven't looked at the data, but they figured it out, these two.
Yeah. Because he's like 3 or 4 in. They figured it out, those crazy kids. But we then cut to 5 years later. and Sally is at lunch with her friends, one other lady and Carrie Fisher. The other lady shows up once or twice, not as important as Carrie Fisher, who is in a long-standing affair with a married man and is like, why won't he leave his wife for me? And Sally's like, he never will.
It's almost like a refrain in the script. Like,
Yes.
they keep coming back to, he's never gonna leave his wife. And she, like, Carrie Fisher says it too. It's like,
Even she has an arc.
you almost feel so bad for Carrie Fisher because you're like, ma'am, you are worthy of dating somebody who can date you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
it just,
Yes.
she does such a good job of like acting that part. And I do think she grows out of this in the movie. Like, we see her
Yes.
get married to Jess. So she moves out of it. But like, man, when we first meet her, it's really kind of sad.
She grows from being someone who is willing to be hidden
Yes.
to
yeah.
being someone who accepts and craves the out and open love of the person who is suited for her and willing to do whatever, willing to get rid of his wagon wheel table for her.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I love where she ends up. It is great. But in this moment, they reveal that Sally and Joe have broken up.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it later in the movie, but I fully understand the way she feels when he announces he's getting married. That's such a real response. And even though it is from a air quotes therapist perspective illogical, it is absolutely where most people's brains go. And so like put a pin in it and we'll talk about it when we get to it.
That's the moment I have to talk about that. Cause like I hate that for her.
Yes.
Because she's saying over and over, why didn't he want to marry me?
Right.
You know, we broke up because he didn't want to get married or whatever. Because that's
Right.
kind of ultimately the information we get in this scene is why they broke up. And that is one of the reasons.
Yes.
Like she saw that she was playing I Spy with a kid. And the kids say, I spy a family. And she realized that like she will never have that.
Right.
Because she's with Joe. And so they break up. It does seem like it's a mutual kind of a breakup.
Yes.
But that conversation is what led to it or whatever. But later on, when she blames herself for not being good enough, so like Joe didn't want to marry her, that's not why he got engaged now.
Not at all.
He got engaged now because he learned the fucking lesson you breaking up with him should have taught him.
Right.
It's that he is not a special little boy that everyone will bend over backwards like his mommy always taught him they would. Like, I hate dudes like that. Having been one myself, the lesson she should take away from that is, oh, I guess Joe could learn something if it personally impacted him. And that is, oh, I should take my partner's feelings into account. Like, I'm sure had Meg Ryan been the next person he started dating after Meg Ryan broke his heart by saying she was worthy of marrying and breaking off their relationship, they would have gotten married. Does that make sense? Like, it's not because she wasn't worthy of that. It's because she was. He knows it. And she got away because he wasn't willing to be vulnerable and marry her. That is the way she should be looking at that.
I understand that from, like, you are right, but I fully understand why she goes to where she goes.
100%.
Right?
That is such a human reaction. I would do that.
100%.
I get it.
Yeah.
But that's not what's happening. Anyway, yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Table it.
Sorry.
We'll do it when we get there. But Carrie Fisher goes through her Rolodex and is like, what about this guy? What about this guy?
Her Rolodex that she has with her at lunch, she brought, and it's not like it's on her phone, guys. She brought a rolling Rolodex
Yes.
to lunch in case someone there was single.
Right.
She didn't know they broke up before this.
I personally wonder if the Rolodex was for herself. If she was going to like, this guy's never going to leave his wife. I need to look through and see who I should maybe call and ask to dinner.
All right. I really do love that in this universe, there are dudes in her Rolodex just picking up strays from Carrie Fisher because she is like acting out because her affair partner won't leave his wife or whatever.
Yeah.
Just out here catching strays with Carrie Fisher. That sounds like Jabba the Hutt's dream. You know what I'm saying?
Look, it's my dream. I would give most of the money I had to sit across Carrie Fisher for one lunch. Like, would love.
Oh, yeah. I definitely understood why Liz Lemon hired her as a guest writer for her show, The Girly Show.
I forgot that is her in the show. That's never go with a hippie to a second location.
Yeah, it leads to my favorite Jack Donaghy-ism, which is that line.
I forgot that was Carrie Fisher. It is. where she was just like, we were doing hardcore political sketches.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't you get it? Haldeman was the mailbox. It's so specific and dumb. I love it. Anyway.
I love it.
Carrie Fisher was amazing. She says, literal Disney princess Carrie Fisher. I love her so much.
Yes.
And she's great in this. She really is.
She is. I love her in this. And a lot of people don't know, she was very close friends with Rob Reiner because there's a period of time where she actually becomes a screenwriter for a long time and makes a lot of projects on the other side of the camera and became a very well-respected script doctor in the industry.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's a very interesting lady. Anyway, so we then cut to Harry's side. And one thing that I love about this movie, and a lot of people have remarked on this over the past couple weeks as we've been dealing with the Reiner's death, that this movie, at a time when most movies did not, really shows a very healthy, kind, and loving male friendship that is so sweet.
Yeah.
Now, I do love, he and Jess are at the game, and he's telling him about getting divorced, but every time the wave goes, they still stand up for the wave.
Yeah.
It cracks me up every time.
You gotta do the wave. Like,
it's so funny to just be having a sad, depressing conversation, but then like every couple sentences.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. But what we learned was essentially that Helen had an affair and lied to him about it, booked the movers, then broke up with him as the movers arrived.
Yeah. He was like, one of them was wearing a "Don't Fuck with Mr. Zero" t-shirt.
Mr. Zero?
And I was like, oh, that's an amazing t-shirt. That would be hilarious.
In front of Mr. Zero? Oh, I love it. But he also, as this is happening, says to her, do you not love me anymore? And she says, I don't know if I ever did.
Yeah.
That's so brutal.
It is brutal because his friend's response to this is to remind his friend, who just realized that his wife was having an affair and is moving out to be with her affair partner. He decided he needed to work into that conversation that he's a writer.
It'll be important later.
It is. But he's like, no, I'm a writer. And that's how I know that what she said was extra cold.
Yes.
Like, it's not about you, Jess. Jesus. Didn't you say quiche is the new pesto or whatever?
Not till later, but we have to talk about that. I have thoughts. I have so many fucking thoughts about his bonkers opinions.
I too have thoughts, and those thoughts were, is Carrie Fisher a Jedi in this movie too? Because she clearly was into Jess when she sat down, and she just happens to quote him from a magazine. No, she is reading his mind or something.
Something. But we cut to Carrie Fisher and Sally again in a bookstore where we again reveal that Carrie Fisher found like receipts from the, affair partner that he's not going to leave his wife.
Yeah, he bought his wife like lingerie or whatever. Like they're definitely still having a sexual relationship, which I'm sure she has heard otherwise.
Sure.
And it's like, oh no, things are ending down. We just got to stay together for a little while to like transition
for the kids or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the lie is.
Yeah.
That's keeping her on the hook. But clearly this is like proof that that's not the case, which like, that doesn't matter. Just like get out of it. You don't need this. You need Jess.
Yeah, exactly. But this is also where we get the very famous line of someone is staring at you in personal growth.
Yeah. And I will say, when it pans over to Billy Crystal and he's standing there like half behind the bookshelf, leering over and trying not to look like he's leering, I was like, is he trying out for like the 1980s version of You? Because it looks very much like he's going to kill somebody.
Yeah. You gonna kill that puss? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I did that. But Sally in the moment was like, oh, I know that guy. He's an asshole. He's tried to get with me twice, but he's married. Don't even worry about it. Like, whatever.
I love that Carrie Fisher nopes so hard.
Yes.
Like, doesn't even, like, Meg Ryan doesn't even realize Carrie Fisher is, like, out the door.
Right.
When he walks over, because she's watching him walk over, and she just, like, nopes out of the shot. And then as Meg Ryan goes to introduce Carrie Fisher, and she goes, oh, this is my friend. She looks over, and Carrie Fisher's waving from the steps
gone.
across the bookstore. Like, it's been 15 seconds. She's out the door, man. She's almost to her taxi already by the time she turns around and waves. It's hilarious.
I do love that Jess and Marie, who's Carrie Fisher and the other guy, they seem to see that Harry and Sally should be together from Jump Street.
Yes.
From day one, before they even get together, they're like, those two should be together. We can already sense it. And they just immediately are like, oh, I'll just leave you guys alone then. Like every time.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. But they have a conversation of like, well, how are you? Well, how are you? I just broke up. I'm getting a divorce. Do you want to go to dinner? Sure. And I actually really love how she describes at this dinner, because she tells him about the whole family thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, it's good that we don't have a family. We could fly off to Rome at a moment's notice. But do we? No.
Yeah, these are the lies that Joe was selling her about their relationship. Like, we don't need to get married and have kids. Like, our life is great. We can do whatever we want. Well, we don't do whatever we want.
Right.
We just have like a normal relationship where we don't get married and have children, which is something that she wants. And that's a problem.
Yeah. But, and they also kind of recap the previous times that they've interacted. And he says, what's the statute of limitations on apologies? Great, I can get it in. I'm sorry. I was kind of a dick. I didn't mean to be, I'm sorry. Could we start over as friends?
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah. He does, I think, own up to his shitty behavior and apologize, which I like. I think that's great.
We get an interstitial of, we were born in the same hospital, but we never met. And this one is my favorite interstitial because Jake lived across the street from my store.
What?
When I worked at the Grove for years and we never met.
That's crazy.
And we probably did and just didn't know. We have backtracked where we know we were at screenings at Quentin Tarantino's theater at the same time and we just never met.
You guys probably saw each other and never...
And had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just like this movie of the right people at the right time.
Yeah.
But we cut back in and now we've got a montage of them becoming friends. And they're talking on the phone all the time. She's revised her views on Casablanca. He has an empty apartment that he's wandering around and talking to her. He's telling her about how she is kind of high maintenance, but I like that about you or whatever.
Yeah. But this is the start of, I think, their genuine friendship, but also because they love each other. They eventually fall in love because of all of this,
Right.
This is the stuff that makes up the potion of love. You know what I'm saying? It's just spending time together and being friends, being kind. And it's great. That's what you want.
I love that they tell each other their sex dreams. I think that's very funny where he's like, we're having sex, but the Olympic judges are watching. And there's an Eastern European judge that's actually my mother in disguise. And then hers is it's a faceless guy. And sometimes I change my outfit, which I think is they're equally weird in their own ways.
Yes. Why does Billy Crystal want his mom there in disguise? That's weird.
Right. I don't think he wants it. I just think it happened. The dream wants what it wants.
It's his sex dream.
Yeah, but sometimes your brain just goes walkabout when you're dreaming.
Oh, okay. I read this as this is their fantasy.
Sure.
But you read it as they've actually had this dream.
Yes.
So okay, that does change it for me. If he is just relaying a dream he had once, cool.
Yeah.
Because it's not him being I really want my mom to wear this specific disguise and then show up in the room I'm having sex in. That's different. That's very different.
Latvia, Mom, is that you? No, I read this as, and I realize that you are a person that does not remember your dreams. And I know that there are many people out there like this.
Right.
So this might not be something y'all have experienced. As a person who does remember their dreams, every once in a while, you'll have a dream where you have a full relationship with someone that you may or may not be attracted to or whatever. And it's just your brain playing mix 'em ups at night.
Yeah.
Maybe you were talking to that person a lot or there's something coming up with that person that's important. And your brain is just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. And then you wake up and you're like, that was weird. What a weird dream. And then you go on with your day. But I read it like that, where it was one of those where it was yeah, that's fucking strange.
I like that way better than the way I read it.
Yeah. We follow them to the Met where they're doing bits about my paprika has too much pepper.
I was laughing really hard at this. And it's not because it's funny at all, really. It's because I've done this a million times with friends, with Natalie, just weird bits or just being silly voices in public. And it's just like the most fun you could have with your friends. I don't know. I really enjoy it.
But yeah, just bits, like, fun bits. But he's like, hey, would you like to go to dinner with me? And she's like, oh, I have a date. I was going to tell you, but it felt strange.
Yeah.
Which like neither of them are articulating that the reason it feels strange whenever they go on a date with somebody else or whatever is because they know they should be together and it's not that person. It's not that there's anything wrong with the person they're dating. The only thing wrong with the person that she's dating is that it's not Billy Crystal.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
And I do like that she is... I think this is one of those moments where he's like, no, I'm like really happy for you. It's great that you're dating. I want you to date. Like you deserve that. You deserve to have someone in your life.
Right.
And he's saying all the things that like a friend would say. And it does seem like he's being genuine in this moment, which is very opposite of the Billy Crystal we met at the beginning of this movie. And I don't know if he's being genuine, Paige. I see your face. I understand. But I think we see her react to his reaction to him learning about her going on a date. And I think she's like, oh, he's like a great guy. You should date. You should date somebody. And I like that he's like, I am not ready to date. Like I am too locked up about Helen and my divorce. I don't want to date, you know?
I think there's an extra layer to this, and it happens multiple times in this movie of I'm dating someone, I'm seeing somebody I didn't want to tell you because I thought it would be weird. And he's like, oh no, it's great. I'm happy for you. You are? Because then it's almost like, I don't want you to be happy for me. I want you to be upset.
Yeah.
Right? Like, which is fucked up and toxic behavior.
I definitely think that's one thing that's going on for Meg Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think in her catching herself feel that way, she acknowledges that she has feelings for him.
Right. And then, and doesn't really like she does date other people, but nobody really lasts except for that guy a little bit later. But like,
yeah,
whatever. And I feel like Billy Crystal is less upfront about those feelings. I think in some ways, even though I think he is attracted to her and wants to be with her, he has written it off as like, you know, nice idea, but she's not into it. So we're not even gonna mess with it in a way.
The way I read it, and I don't know that it's right, but the way I read it this time watching it, it was very much that like, if she was into it, I'd be into it. But she's clearly not into it. I've offered many times and she's not into it. And like, I genuinely do really like hanging out with her, you know? So like, I think that I think that's one of the reasons he feels, shit, I wish we hadn't had sex.
Right.
Is because he genuinely does like her as a friend and doesn't want to lose the friendship, you know?
Yes, 100%.
But that's very different from where we meet him as a character.
Right. Where he thinks a friendship isn't even possible, let alone the thing that he doesn't want to lose.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
We cut to him at the batting cages talking to Jess about their relationship, where he's like, yes, I enjoy her and she's attractive, but we're not sleeping with each other. I can say anything to her and I get a different perspective. And it's like, yes, for the people you should be able to say anything to your partner.
Yes.
Like, and I don't mean that in an abusive way, but I mean like to talk about anything with your partner.
You mean it in the way of like, just, you should be able to be open and vulnerable with who you truly are with your partner. I understand what you mean. And of course that's the lesson that Jess wishes his friend Billy Crystal would hear himself saying.
Yes.
Because he is very much talking about his and Sally's relationship while also telling his friend that he had sex with this kind of one-night stand girl so good that she meowed. And I don't think that that's the brag he thinks it is, unless they were doing some sort of elaborate furry role play.
I think it backs up Meg Ryan's assertion for the following scene.
It does 100%.
Yeah, we get the famous diner scene with I'll have what she's having. And I think this is very much like, oh, she meowed. This was definitely fake.
Yeah.
But notably in that scene, his pastrami sandwich looks so good. It made me hungry watching it.
All right.
Just saying. Anyway, I'll have what she's having. But we cut to them walking through the snow. It's Christmas. They get a tree together. Yeah. And then we cut to, he shaved his beard. Horrible. But they're dancing together at New Year's. And this is them both realizing. And they like, at midnight hits, they're kind of awkward about it. They kiss, but just barely.
It's like a barely pop kiss kind of a thing.
Right.
Like you might kiss your legit sister as a mistake. Like you both went to kiss each other on the cheek and like, oh God.
No.
It was like very light. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It was, okay, hang on. It was like as strong as a LaCroix.
Yes. A whisper of lemon.
Yes.
It's me, kiwi strawberry.
And then you drink it and you're like, I guess someone might have thrown a kiwi and a strawberry by this can at one point.
Right.
I guess I can taste that.
Exactly. Tag, it's pear. Anyway, we get another interstitial, and this is the one where he was a counselor at the boys' camp, I was at the girls' camp, and he walked across the room, and no one ever walks across the room for me, but he did, and he said, hi, and I don't remember his name. He's like, of the Coney Island Smalls.
Yeah.
And it gets me every time.
And she's like, that's when I knew.
Yep. We then cut to Carrie Fisher and Meg Ryan are walking to a date. Billy Crystal and Jess are walking to a date.
Oh, wait, did we skip over the scene where Meg Ryan has an orgasm? Because that happens before the blind date.
We kind of breezed past it because we were talking about the pastrami sandwich. But she does have an orgasm at the table in the diner.
She legit has an orgasm, guys. Like, it is a real life orgasm. Because clearly, like, women don't fake orgasms, right?
What? Don't give away our secrets.
I do love that it's Rob Reiner's mom saying, I'll have what she's having. And that's why I brought it up, because I wanted to drop that. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
But for real, that pastrami looks good. I'll have what he's having.
But yes, this is where they go on the double date, where Carrie Fisher's supposed to be on the double date with Bill Crystal. I call him Bill. We're friends.
Sure.
William Crystal, if you're nasty. But it's clear that she's like super into Jess when they get there.
Yes.
And Jess is super into her. And Jess, who's supposed to be on the date with Meg Ryan, they're not really getting along very much.
It's not a love connection.
Right.
And I kind of love that this was them like trying to set each other so they could all be friends.
Yes.
And it backfires completely. But this is also where we get Jess's assertion that pesto is the quiche of the 80s.
Right. And when I heard him say that, I was like, I know so little about food, but I know that's wrong.
I don't know if it's wrong, to be honest with you.
Pesto is not breaded into small little biteable squares that I can then enjoy like that. I do like pesto, but I really like the, let's just say, pizza bite nature of a quiche.
Well, that's only mini quiches. Most quiches are like pies. But I think what he means by this is quiche was kind of a popular food in the 70s for people to make,
Sure,
for people to serve. And this happens with food all the time. Like we had like a cupcake era, and then it was cake pops, and then it was like, whoopie pies for a hot second. Like we go through food eras.
I know. I can't wait for cream pies to come back. It's the best eras of pies.
Best eras of pies. I think his assertion is that pesto is the popular cultural food of the 80s. And I don't think he's wrong, except that I feel like pesto's reign extended into the 90s a little bit.
I still fuck with pesto every now and then. Like, it's not like the best, but I like it.
I had a pesto ranch yesterday.
I'd try that.
I had pizza with pesto ranch, and it was so good. It really elevated the ranch. It was great. I love pesto. I'm a big pesto person.
Yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I hear it's the quiche of the 80s.
It's the quiche of the 80s. Quiche is one of my favorite foods of all time.
I love quiche. Mini quiches are my favorite. If I'm ever at like one of those pre-conference networking receptions and they have quiches, I might end up back in my hotel room with like mini quiches in my suit pocket.
Hell yes.
Like I just like mini quiches, guys.
Not only do I love quiche in general, I'm really good at making quiche, and I have ruined quiche for myself at other places because I'm just like, it's not as good as mine.
You're right, Paige. I thank God every day that I can't cook.
You should. It's a gift and a curse. Anyway, they kind of like, as they're walking out from the restaurant, they kind of separate so they can both have little convos where she's like, hey, it seems like you're not really into the person you were supposed to be on a date with, but I kind of am. Do you mind if I do that? And she's like, oh, no, yeah, go ahead. But like, not right now. Don't hurt Billy Crystal's feelings.
Yeah, because Carrie Fisher's like, hey, I'm super into Jess. Can I call Jess? Because I would smash Jess. And she's like, yeah, totally. But like, give it a beat. Don't do it tonight. Like Billy Crystal's in a fragile state. Like he just got divorced. This is one of his first dates back. Let him down easy or whatever. And then Billy Crystal and Jess are having the exact same conversation, more or less. And then as they come back together as like two couples, Jess goes, well, I had a great night, but I'm going to head home. I'm going to get a cab. I'll see you guys later. And then Carrie Fisher's like, oh, great. I'll go with you. And then they leave immediately. It's so funny.
Well, and we cut to them moving in together. That's how far we cut into the future, because we get an interstitial, but then we cut to them at sharper image.
Well, you know why Carrie Fisher moved in with Jess so quickly. I mean, he can clearly rock that mama like a wagon wheel.
Exactly.
He made it a coffee table, Paige.
He did make it a coffee table. But They're at Sharper Image and they're testing out a karaoke machine.
It was like an early karaoke machine. He doesn't even call it that. He calls it like it's like a song machine or whatever. It's like he calls it that because his brain couldn't handle saying karaoke.
Right.
And they knew he couldn't say something like karaoke machine.
Right.
Or something like that. So he's just like, it's a song machine.
It's a song machine. But who should they run into but Helen,
Ooh.
his ex-wife?
Yeah.
With the new guy who, by the way, no.
I don't know that she traded down, though. I mean, I like Billy Crystal. I wouldn't say he does it for a lot of people in the physical looks department. He is just very charming and funny, and I like him, but I don't have to sleep with him, like.
Sure. I feel like the new guy, it's not necessarily just a looks thing. It's like a Riz thing. He's got no Riz.
Oh, he is deflated in the Riz department for sure.
Yes. But this really sets Harry off. He has a rough time seeing her with someone else.
Well, isn't it not just somebody else? It's also the affair partner.
It's the affair partner. It's who she cheated on him with. Yes.
Yes. It's brutal, man. He doesn't handle this right. But shit, like I kind of get it. I would hope I wouldn't do this in his situation, but
Right.
Fuck, I would be so hurt and sad by this too.
Right. And we cut to them at Jess and Marie's where they're debating the wagon wheel coffee table, which, oof magoof, that is a choice for a table.
And that choice is correct. Yeah, it's an amazing No, it's not great. Unless you're trying to rent out your Midwestern Airbnb that's like Topaz themed.
Right.
It's not the right vibe.
No.
Carrie Fisher is right.
Well, I would say they need to find a compromise, and they do, because essentially Billy Crystal's like, all of this is meaningless. You're going to end up fighting over it in the divorce. You're going to fight over who owns this dish. It's a Fiesta-ware plate. Paige's cookware corner. And then he kind of leaves, and Sally follows. Meg Ryan follows and is like, hey, not cool. They're moving in together. We don't need that kind of energy. You are being a downer when our friends are having a good time.
And they kind of fight, though. He fights with her about how he feels about the Helen situation. And he eventually does, in this scene, apologize, which I kind of like.
I love it.
I think it shows that, he, in this scene where he's acting out very emotionally and is not being the best version of himself, while he's having this fight with her, and I say with her, even though she's not really having the fight. She's just like, hey, we're here with our friends. Let's maybe talk about this later. And I'm happy to talk about it with you. And he's just mad and yelling and stuff.
Right.
He realizes over the course of this conversation that he is doing that. And they're like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. And they hug it out,
Right.
And I kind of it's not a great moment for Billy Crystal. And it's a very real moment. And I've kind of done that kind of shit, but it shows how much he's grown since he was talking about how you've never had good sex. And
yes.
I know you just saw me making out with my girlfriend, but let's smash tonight.
Right.
He's changed a lot. And I like that, even though it is showing that character growth in a moment that is not showing him in his best.
Right. But you're right. And he even hey, have you said everything you want to say? Great.
Yeah.
May I say something? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's a very adult, I don't even want to call it an argument, a terse discussion, but where they both respect each other, apologize, have their feelings heard, and move on.
Yeah.
I also love that we get a cut in the middle of it of Carrie Fisher being like, hey, I just want you to know, I'm never going to fight you for that coffee table.
Yes. I love that line so much because it's positioned we're never going to fight like that or what, but it's not. It's not at all. It's I'm never going to want that.
Right. We may fight, but I'm not going to fight you for that table. We cut to some later date where they are playing Pictionary.
Yeah.
And they are there with their new girlfriend, boyfriend, etc. She's bad at Pictionary because she's drawing baby fish mouth. I thought this was maybe Look Who's Talking Now, but that's a couple years later. It's baby talk.
It's one of those things that it's not the best, but baby talk, I can kind of see how she got there. And I can also kind of see how they didn't get it,
Right. But this is the scene you brought up where they're watching each other with their respective partners and they're both like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
And I don't like them. Who is that guy even? Who is that girl even? Where they're talking to their other friends. This is why all of their other friends are you should be together, because the second you are each with someone else, you hate that other person. This is.
Yeah, it's clear that you guys love each other and you just haven't kissed yet or whatever, And I do like that their friends are not letting them play it like performative, like, oh, she seems so great or whatever. Like their friends are like, no, they are pretty great. They are great. I realize that like that's not great for you, but they're great. You know, like I kind of like that vibe because Carrie Fisher at least knows.
Oh yeah.
That like, I know you love him, whether you want to acknowledge it or not.
And for as much as I had to acknowledge my truth in that he's never leaving his wife, you need to acknowledge your truth of you've been in love with this person for a long time.
I didn't even think about that. But yes, 100%. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I also kind of love when Billy Crystal is talking to his friend Jess about the girl he's dating.
Right.
He even says, like, she's too young. Like, he makes a joke that, like, I asked her where she was when Kennedy got shot, and she said, Ted Kennedy got shot?
Right.
Because she's too young to remember either President Kennedy or his brother when they got shot, like in the 60s or whatever.
Right.
So the joke there being like, yeah, she's too young for me. And Paige, I kind of wonder, do you have like a pop culture reference test for like
9/11?
Yeah. That's what I was going to assume yours was.
Yeah, 9/11.
Mine was like, where were you when they opened King Tut's tomb?
Oh, that's also a good one.
Because it happened in 1922. I agree.
Right.
Because I got to know where you were in 1922 or you're too young for me.
Exactly.
Because I'm old.
I got to know about those canopic jars and where I've stored my soul.
Do you remember the Titanic personally or through stories?
Personally.
Because you might be too young. 9/11's mine too, honestly. Like
9/11, yeah.
Before Natalie and I got together, I would always ask on a first date, so where were you at 9/11?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what was that experience like? And if they were like, I was in elementary school, I'm like, this has been great.
Yeah, no, 100%. And if you were not alive or if you were very young when it happened, or if you were much older when it happened, maybe this is not the touchstone for you. But I find that for most people roughly my age, everyone has a story of what happened that day because it was such an impactful day for us, right? And so like in LA, you start conversations by complaining about traffic. As a millennial, you start conversations by asking where you were on 9/11.
Yeah. It'd be like asking, hey, do you remember the Challenger exploding in grade school? And then being like, the movie Challenger exploded? You're like, I gotta go. I can't be around this person.
But I have heard Gen Xers talk about the Challenger explosion. I was too young for that one, but like, I have heard other people talk about it.
My siblings, because I'm the youngest in my sibling set.
Right.
That's one of the ones for them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
I say my sibling set because my parents both got remarried to other people. And so I have like multiple siblings younger than me.
Right.
But like the ones that my mom and we call ourselves the biologicals.
Sure.
The ones my mom and dad had together.
Right.
Oh, and my sibling Sam also is a biological because my mom.
Yeah. We also in these scenes, though, get hints that they're not being their full selves with their new partners.
Right. Because they're doing things that they don't like doing and they're doing it just to placate their partner, which I'll say isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, I'll do things because I know Natalie wants to do it or whatever. And that's okay. Like
it is. But the question is that something that is known that you don't like it and you are specifically doing it, or are you lying about liking it because it's still early in the relationship?
No. I mean, I definitely understand the distinction that we're making there.
Yeah.
And I do think that boils just down to communication. So no, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'll do things where I'm like, no, I mean, I'm happy to do this because it's family. Like we're doing this for family and that's important and we should do this.
Right.
But just know this is not how, like, that's not how we spend our Saturdays or whatever we're doing. It could be anything.
Right.
But like, we're very honest with each other about that kind of stuff. And it's clear that Billy Crystal and his girlfriend and Meg Ryan and her new boyfriend are not.
Yes. I think the implication is it's still early in the relationship and it hasn't come out that she hates baseball and he hates sweets yet.
Right. Which, like, I don't get. It's America's, like, how could you not like sweets? Like, I get baseball, it's boring. But, like, how could you not like sweets?
I mean, I don't like chocolate. This was a discussion I had with my mom the other day. I'm just not a chocolate person. It tastes very bitter to me.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced chocolat.
Chocolat. Where, like, given a choice. Now, I will eat chocolate if it's got like stuff in it, like peanut butter, marshmallows, nuts, that kind of stuff.
I like how Paige is like, I will eat chocolate if it's got a cake on it. Like, I will eat chocolate cake for sure, right?
Oh, no, I don't like chocolate cake, actually.
I don't like chocolate cake either. I don't like cake, though. Do you like chocolate brownies, though?
I love brownies, but I love the edges where they're chewier.
Yes, you're human. Of course you like the edges. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I love cake as a genre. I just don't really enjoy chocolate cake.
I've never heard chocolate cake, but I loved Fashion Nuggets. So yeah, I get it. Cake as a genre,
There you
I'm
go.
here for it.
Love it.
Yeah, ska, but like spoke song, I'm here for it. Yeah.
Comfort Eagle is more my speed.
Ooh,
But
it's not bad.
anyway, they're early stages. I choose to believe that in the next scene, Billy Crystal has already broken up with the Sweets girl, because we cut to Meg Ryan calling him and being like, are you alone? Joe's getting married and I am having feelings about it.
She's kind of having a breakdown, not like a mental breakdown, but she's like crying and like she's struggling because she's in this like, I will say sort of self-confidence spiral or like shame spiral maybe, that she's just not good enough and not worthy of marrying, which is absolutely not true. She's effing Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
And like, you already love somebody else, but it's not about Joe. It's about her not feeling worthy of that. And so I get it. It just makes me so sad because like what she is saying to herself is absolutely not the case.
And I also feel like Billy Crystal in this moment says the right thing to her, because she's like, it's not that he didn't want to get married. It's that he didn't want to marry me. He didn't love me. And he's like, then he's crazy. Like, because it's like, why wouldn't he want to marry me? It's like, who cares? He didn't, and he missed out. And she's like, no, I'm challenging. And he's like, yeah, but I love it. Like, these are things I like about you. Where in a way, this becomes Billy Crystal being like, these are all the reasons I would want to marry you, essentially.
Yeah, it's really sweet. And like their first, it's not their first kiss because I guess they kissed that really pathetic sort of
Right.
familial kiss on New Year's Eve. But like their first kiss here almost seems like they've been kissing for years.
As friends.
Yes. Yeah. It doesn't seem like it's a passionate romantic kiss.
Yes.
And I so love that. Like their first kiss is like a, I love you, man.
Yeah.
Kind of a kiss. It's not like a let's fuck.
Right.
Which they do get to. And I do love that for them too. But I just love that their first kiss was just a like, I love you, man, kind of a kiss. Like it was so sweet to me, honestly.
It is. And it definitely gives off the vibe that they have been kissing as friends for a long time. But this is where I was like, I don't kiss my male friends. Like even before I was married.
Oh, and I think that this is the first time that they've done that.
You think so?
Yeah. I just think that it's not a like.
It just organically happened in the moment.
Yes.
And they were like, yeah.
Yeah, I might be wrong. I don't know. I haven't read the script or anything. I don't know if Rob Reiner said anything about it, but like it reads to me like it was they have loved each other for so long. It is not like a passionate, we must have sex right now kind of kiss.
And it just felt natural in the moment.
Exactly. Yeah. And I kind of really love that about it.
Right.
And normally the first kiss you get in movies is like passionate, like we've got to tear each other's clothes off in this Denny's.
Right.
But like, that's not this type. Although they do get there pretty quickly because they do have sex moments after this.
Well, yeah, because like he goes to get tea and then she's like, wait, hold on, hold me a little longer. Another kiss happens, another kiss. And then it builds until we get to basically the next morning.
Yeah.
And at this point, I feel like Meg Ryan is way happier about it. He is already having an existential crisis.
Yes.
About it.
I definitely think he is spinning on, oh, fuck, I ruined my best friend and I's relationship.
Yeah.
I ruined this. This is like the one good thing in my life and I ruined it.
Right.
That is where he is. And I will say that is him doing the same thing, same sort of thing maybe, that Meg Ryan was doing when she found out that Joe got engaged.
Yes.
And he's making this like thing that could be a happy moment, the most negative thing it could possibly be in outcome. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which for her was Joe getting engaged post me proves I'm the problem. And that's not the case at all.
Right.
And that he is just afraid that she's going to react badly to this and it's going to destroy his friendship. Right.
Right.
When this is something he has stated that he wanted to do since the beginning of the movie.
For years.
Yeah.
And I think that in her mind, she's like, great, we're going to be a couple now. That's what it is. That's where we're at. And he's like, what can I do to make sure I still have a friend? And it's because neither of them are voicing what they actually want in the moment. Because I'm sure there's a part of him too that's like, I have wanted this for a long time, but I don't want to lose my friend.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You know? And that's why we get the like in the subsequent scenes, because they decide to go out to dinner and whatever the next day. It's like, well, we'll say it's a mistake. And I hope she says it first. I hope he says it first. And it's them tiptoeing around that neither one of them wanted it to be a mistake.
Yes.
But they want to preserve the status quo. And so because of that, they are going to say it's a mistake, even though that immediately makes them enemies. Like it's like, well, why would it be a mistake? Like, what's wrong with me? It puts her in the same position of like, what's wrong with me then? Do you not care? Did I mean nothing to you? And it's like, no, you meant everything. That's why he's saying this is a mistake. It's this complicated, the one thing they can't be vulnerable about is ruining the one thing they're trying to save.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so unrelatable, guys.
But we then cut to Jess and Marie's wedding.
Yeah.
Where they are the maid of honor and best man. And they get in like a fight.
Yeah, well, they haven't really spoken in 3 weeks since it happened.
Right.
And I'll say, I think Harry says some pretty hurtful things.
Sure. I think they both do.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think what he was trying to get at with the dog thing that she didn't let him finish saying because the fight happens.
Yeah, but I don't think it's ever appropriate to refer to a woman as a dog at a wedding, Paige. They're at a wedding.
They're at a wedding. I don't think that that's what he meant. I read this as, it is clear that this is more important to you than you think it is because it has only been 3 weeks, but you are acting like it's been years.
Yeah, but he probably should have said something more akin
Phrased
to that
it better.
and not like,
Yeah.
you know, a dog's lives are like every year, 7 years. Well, you're being a real dog about this.
Right.
Or whatever.
Right. You're being a real 3 weeks or a year about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she does slap him because he's like, look, I didn't go over there to sleep with you that night. She's like, oh, so it was pity? And he was like, no, it just happened. But like, we didn't talk about it. It spiraled out of control. So they leave, not talking. And he then spends the next month or so, it is implied, calling and leaving her messages, trying to apologize, trying to win her back.
I love this like montage of voicemails that she's either there or not there or just arriving or whatever.
Right.
One of them is her getting the Christmas tree alone.
Yes.
Which is like, you know, juxtaposed to like the same shot we saw the year before where they were like happily getting the tree together and setting it up and stuff.
Right.
And I love that like one of the things he's saying, I think it might be when she arrives with the tree, he's like, you know, Christmas is the time of giving and carols and everything, but it's also the time of groveling. So if you'd like a nice traditional grovel, give me a call back or just like answer the phone if you're there. If not, just call me back and I'll do my traditional Christmas grovel. And I really love that. I love that he is like apologizing in bit form, kind of.
Yes. Well, and she does finally pick up and he's like, oh my God, hey, do you want to go together to the New Year's party? And I actually do like what she says. I can't do this anymore. I'm not your consolation prize.
Yeah.
Because this is her feeling like if he felt like this was a mistake, he never felt that way for me anyway. And I have to divest myself from this relationship where I have a lot of feelings tied to this. Because she doesn't realize he has all those feelings for her. He loves her, but like, there has been a communication error.
Well, and he has not said that to her.
He has not.
So like, she is spinning everything to its most negative as well as him.
Right.
But it's not like he's been honest with her about his feelings and she's rebuked that.
Right. We cut to the party. She's having a terrible time. All of the men that she's dancing with, again, there's nothing wrong with them, but they're not Billy Crystal. That is what's wrong with them.
Right.
And he is like walking and kind of having this like just a think and walk. And we review like all the time he has spent with her and all the conversations they've had. And it's like you see him realize like, I'm a dumbass. I gotta just go tell her. So he like runs to the party and gives the best movie speech that makes me fucking sob.
I love it.
Every time.
It is so good.
It's so good.
But this is the, I've been doing a lot of thinking.
Yes.
I think I'm in love with you. You know, and he like goes through it all. And it ends with the I love you, I hate you thing that we talked about earlier. And I really, really love it. It's so well written.
I love it. And it is essentially him being like, when you realize you want to spend your life with somebody, you want that life to start as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
But they kiss a lot and then immediately go back to doing bits because that's who they are.
Their love language is bits.
Their love language is bits. Our last scene is them doing one of those interstitial interviews about how they met. And that's the movie.
So having seen the movie, having talked about the movie, what did you think about When Harry Met Sally?
It's a classic for a reason. You know, like when people talk about how they think Pretty Woman is the most romantic movie, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this movie has horrifying implications. I feel about this movie, I'm like, no, this is a classic because it is truly romantic, as opposed to some other movies that we have done where we're like, the second you start to pick this apart, it's really not romantic at all. And Richard Gere is kind of gross in Pretty Woman.
Yeah, I struggle with like absolutes like that, like what is the most romantic movie?
Right.
I would definitely say this is leaps and bounds more romantic than Pretty Woman.
Right.
A script that was initially called what, like $3,000 or whatever, or
yes, where the ending was supposed to be that he threw $3,000 at her. Yes.
No, that is not as romantic as this at all.
Yeah.
I really loved this movie watching it. I think I may have been too young when I watched it the first time to really appreciate it for what it was, and watching it now really hit me in a great way. Like I really enjoyed watching it. I really enjoyed watching it with Natalie. We kind of like just watched it together. It was great. So yeah, no, I love it. I am glad I bought it, honestly, because it was on sale for $5. So I was like, I can do that. For sure.
Yep.
But Paige, do you have any fun facts for us?
I do.
Well, here it is with your fun facts.
Pecan pie fun facts. The segments of married couples telling stories of how they met are real stories that Rob Reiner collected for the film, but then they hired actors to relay the stories.
Love it. That's great.
The scene where all four of the lead characters are talking to each other individually on various phones took 60 takes to get it right.
I was going to say that shot is
because it's
so
all of the timing.
Cool. Yes.
Yes.
It's almost like in the Sondheim Musical Company, there's a lot of like spoken word over music lines that have to happen
right
at the exact same time every time. And this is exactly that, but there's no ongoing beat to help you keep track of where everyone is.
Right.
It's so well done. And it's a oneer, more or less.
Yes.
So everyone had to do it perfectly. It's so cool. I love it so much.
The original ending of this movie was supposed to be that they did not end up together, but decided they would be lifelong friends.
Bummer. Hate that.
I mean, they changed it after Rob Reiner met his wife while working on this movie, and they had a very similar relationship where they were friends that kind of became something more. And because of that relationship, he changed the ending of the movie so that they end up together.
I love that.
And I believe he and Billy Crystal kind of helped write that speech together.
I love that. That's great.
Yep. The concept of Sally being a picky eater is based on Nora Ephron. Years after the movie came out, she was on a plane and ordered something very precise, and the stewardess looked at her and asked, "Have you ever seen the movie When Harry Met Sally?" Not realizing she was talking to the writer of the movie.
Oh, man, I really hope Nora was like, "No, what's that?"
No, what's that? There is a meme of, because the Reiners have passed, people were like,
Yeah.
I hope that they're greeted by Nora Ephron in heaven with a very specific set of mustards because she had very particular tastes. The orgasm scene was filmed at Katz's Deli, which is an actual deli in New York on East Houston Street. The table at which the scene was filmed now has a plaque on it that reads, "Where Harry Met Sally. Hope you have what she had." And the next time I'm in New York, I'm going to go get that pastrami sandwich. That sounds incredible.
That's awesome, though, that they have that plaque there. That's cool.
Yep. The infamous "I'll have what she's having" line was suggested by Billy Crystal. Similarly, "I would be proud to partake of your pecan pie" was ad-libbed. You can actually see in the movie that Meg Ryan laughs and looks to her right, where Rob Reiner, the director, was sitting and told her to basically yes and go with it. And they shot the rest of that scene.
That's awesome.
Yes. Rob Reiner has said that at a test screening during the fake orgasm scene, all of the women in the audience laughed uproariously while all of the men were silent.
It is one of those scenes where, like, if you're an idiot and have never contemplated whether someone with you has faked it, it's eye-opening.
Now, allegedly, the idea of faking it in the scene is Meg Ryan's. The script just called for them to talk about it. And she was like, no, she should fake one. And then they put it into the movie.
I mean, it's really the best way to show, not tell. Like that is awesome.
Yeah.
Good for her. That's great.
Yes.
It's such an iconic moment. And she was just like, let's change this a little bit. Amazing. Well done, Meg.
Yep. The off-camera voice that says, "Hey, everybody, 10 seconds till New Year," is director Rob Reiner. And even though Nora Ephron did write the script and supply the structure of the film, there's a lot of ad-libbing in it that was then added in later scenes. Most of the split-screen phone calls are ad-libbed. That was something that Billy Crystal and Rob Reiner would do almost every night, is call each other on the phone and write down some of the things that they would say to really solidify the friendship aspect of the movie.
I had read that it was actually they would watch TV together and comment on the TV that they were watching together.
Yep.
And so they just kind of mimicked that in the movie because Meg Ryan and him do that in the movie. And I kind of love that.
Yes. Okay. There's a list of previous titles that they rejected before settling on When Harry Met Sally. Would you like to hear them?
Of course.
Just Friends.
What? No.
Yeah.
They were going to rip off Anna Faris and Ryan Reynolds? Wow.
Playing Melancholy Baby.
Oh.
Boy Meets Girl. Blue Moon. Words of Love.
Blue Moon is a Star Wars reference for the record, and Rob Reiner was a nerd, so.
That's Blue Harvest.
Shit, you're right.
Is the Star Wars one.
Yeah.
But It Had to Be You is a song that plays multiple times in the movie. I think that actually also would have been a great title.
Yeah.
Another one is Harry, This Is Sally, which is the introduction they get at the very beginning. And then finally, How They Met, which I also think is a great title as well.
How They Met's a little on the nose, but I like it.
Yes. So as they were making this movie, Rob Reiner, Nora Ephron, and Andrew Scheinman, who's the producer, chose beautiful locations to try and highlight the characters' lack of insight. They're as blind to the romance as they are the love growing between them. You as the audience are watching them live this love story and they're just walking through it like it's nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like his apartment windows overlook the Empire State Building. And they basically noted that it could be the loveliest or loneliest apartment in the world.
Yeah.
And so they shoot it differently when she's in the apartment versus when he's there alone. It's very intentional, but it
That's
actually
so
definitely
cool.
serves
Yeah.
the film.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yes. This is number 6 on AFI's list of the 10 greatest films in the romantic comedy genre. Deserved, I believe.
I mean, yeah.
But did you know that Billy Crystal was not the original choice for this film?
Really? That surprises me because and maybe it's just because it has a lot of his ad-libbing in it and his style in it.
Right.
Style of comedy, I mean.
I think it has to be him.
Yeah.
Right? But Tom Hanks turned it down.
Shit, Tom Hanks would be good too, man.
And so did Michael Keaton.
Oh, Michael Keaton would have been good at the time too.
I think they both could have been, although I think if it's Tom Hanks, then it's basically You've Got Mail or Sleepless in Seattle. There are a number of movies like that. I like that we have this one.
Me
I feel
too.
like it's a bit of a different vibe. Michael Keaton would have been interesting. I like Billy Crystal in this role.
Me too.
Really, really works for me.
Yeah.
To help him capture the mood of a newly divorced single man, he would hole himself up in his hotel room, deliberately keeping himself away from the cast and crew while filming. Billy Crystal would.
I mean, is that method acting or is that just a guy trying to get some goddamn peace and quiet, guys?
I mean, it absolutely could. It could just be him getting peace and quiet. He is shown reading the novel Misery at one point in the movie, which would be the next film directed by Rob Reiner.
That's right. And that is, from what I understand, Rob Reiner's favorite Christmas movie.
Yep, absolutely.
It's definitely not. I don't know, but it's definitely not.
What do you want for Christmas? 2 new ankles. And I'll end on this one because this is there's so many fun facts about this movie. You could fall down a rabbit hole forever. But just to highlight one more time how famous this movie is and how much it has left its mark on romance as a genre, the quote, "I'll have what she's having," was voted number 33 on AFI's list of the best 100 movie quotes of all time. And it's the only quote on the list to be spoken by a non-professional actor. As you brought up, it is delivered by Estelle Reiner, Rob Reiner's mother. And it's the only dialogue line ever delivered on film by his mom. So it's her only time delivering dialogue, and she makes the top 100. And those are your fun facts.
Carl Reiner's wife doesn't idly spend time on screen. She's there, she drops an iconic line and gets out.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, Paige, thank you for those fun facts. Let's talk a little bit about box office. What do you think the production budget was for When Harry Met Sally in 1989?
In 89, now we also have to remember that this is not Reiner's first movie.
It is not.
This is post Princess Bride, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
It made me cry a lot over the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
But most people don't remember Princess Bride was a commercial flop when it first came out. But this is also post other Reiner movies that are already famous, and you've got famous actors at the time. I'm going to say that this cost, and because it's 89, this is going to sound low, but for the time, it was probably a lot, and that's $12 million.
So, okay, you're actually really close, Paige. It was $16 million.
That makes sense.
Which, if you adjust for inflation, is $41.8 million today. So very close. This movie came out the weekend of July 14th, 1989, and it was 11th the first week it came out. It was beat by Lethal Weapon 2 was number 1. Batman, like the original Batman, was number 2. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was 3. License to Kill was 4. And Peter Pan was 5. Now, Paige, also in theaters, Ghostbusters 2, Dead Poets Society, Weekend at Bernie's, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. A lot of big movies in the theaters at this time. When Harry Met Sally was 11 in the theaters this weekend. What do you think it made in its opening weekend?
Ooh, opening weekend, I bet this made about $6 million.
Yeah, Paige, it made $1 million. Just over $1 million. It was 11th in the theaters its first weekend. It was in the same amount of theaters, which was only 775. It was the same amount its second week, and it was third that second week. It had a jump of 708% week over week, which is insane. Like, the word of mouth on this movie must have like projected it to like heights that the first week did not like showcase.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it went from 11th in its first weekend out and then hit third.
Right.
Lethal Weapon was still number 1 that week. Batman was still number 2. But when Harry Met Sally jumped to third, and then it was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and License to Kill closing out the top 5. But not only did it hit number 3, which is the highest it ever hit, and it never hit number 3 again, it was either 4th or 5th from its third week until its 11th week. That was its last week at 5th. And then it was 6th for 2 weeks, and it was 9th the week after that, those 2 weeks. So for its first 14 weeks, it was in the top 10, except for its first week. And then it slowly started to trickle out of theaters. But it did really well back in the day. So, Paige, what do you think it made in theaters in 1989?
I'm going to say it makes, let's see, on a budget of 16, $70 million.
Yeah, Paige, it made $92.8 million.
Damn,
Yeah.
good for them.
That's really good. That's like $242.6 million today. This movie did great, and it's so great. It deserved it. I love this movie. Anyway, Paige, that's your box office. Do you want to hit us with that romance scale?
Our romance scale is a scale of how romantic we found the movie today when we watched it, from 1 to 4, because Mikey said so. Todd, how romantic did you find this movie?
I'm going to give this M or F-er a 7.
Yeah.
I really thought it was romantic.
I do think this movie is romantic. I agree. I guess I'll give this a 4.
Oh, shit.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sorry. I'm thinking of this 1 to 10 scale we do for Horror Virgin. That's my bad.
Right. It's 1 to 4.
I'd give this a strong 3.5, so I'll round it up to 4. I think it's really romantic.
Yeah. Very. And that's our romance scale.
Paige, do you think they're still together?
I hope and pray that they're still together. I think they're still together.
Me too. I definitely think they're still together. Anyway, Paige, this week you made us watch When Harry Met Sally. Well, I was on board too.
Yes.
But what are you going to make us watch next week as we continue January?
Obviously, this has been kind of a sad time in the romance film world. We needed something to cheer us up, so we're going to go with Mannequin 2 on the Move.
Honestly, I might get very triggered by this movie, but we'll see how much mannequins or Manny is featured in this movie.
We will, and we may have to discuss more about how the mannequin's anatomy functions, just like we did last time.
Yeah, I really hope he doesn't get it chopped off, but we'll find out when we watch Mannequin 2 next week and report back for that episode after you've done the same.
Hey, Todd, do you have any reviews for us?
I do. This week I'm going to read one of our most recent Spotify comments off of our Wicked for Good episode. And this one is from someone named Rock the Casbot,
Yeah.
which I kind of love that name.
Great name.
But their comment isn't for us, it's for the characters in Wicked for Good. Their comment says, "Come on, guys, just make a throuple. Problem solved." Specifically an FFM throuple, because we all know Galinda doesn't really want to see Fierro that way.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, fair. That might be an option.
Problem solved.
But like, guys, figure it out because you should end up together, the three of y'all.
Yep.
Anyway, Rock the Casbot, thank you so much for that Spotify comment. And if you want to have me read your Spotify comment and or 5-star Apple review, leave us one of those things and I'll do just that. So yeah, if you guys like this show and want to hear our other show where we talk about horror movies, that is The Horror Virgin. That's the only other podcast I am on, but Paige is also on Cult Podcast, which you can find at Cult Podcast. And you can find us on social media. I am at Todd J. Awesome, literally everywhere. Paige is at Paige Wesley on Instagram.
No, it's at Rampage Wesley on Instagram and TikTok, at Paige Wesley on Twitter.
That's right. All right. So that's where you can find Paige. If you want to find the show, we are at Romancing the Pod Show, right?
Yep, Romancing Pod Show on Twitter.
Well, and Instagram, right?
And Instagram, but it's show SHO because character limits. If you start typing Romancing the Pod, it'll come up.
It'll definitely come up on Instagram. I don't know about Twitter because I haven't posted on Twitter in a hot ass minute. So like, who knows? But that is where you can find more of us. So yeah, guys, give us a follow. Support the show any way you can. We'd love it.
Smash that like button.
Hell yeah.
And that's going to be it for us. You guys, I'm Paige.
And I'm Todd.
And you complete us.
To completion.
I'll have what he's having.
Paige, do you want to hear my Christmas grovel?
Yes.
I wrote what a traditional Christmas grovel would be.
Love this.
You ready?
Yes.
Wishing that you'd know that I'm so sorry about that time that we were just friends and banged. Please forgive me, my friend. I truly apologize. Once you forgive me, I'll give you a mustache ride. Anyway, that's my Christmas grovel.
This is why he shouldn't have shaved.
100%. Bye! Christmas grovel nerds.